Well, hello students, welcome back to Mathematics class. Today we're going to learn about probability diagram. Let's check this video out. When you toss the coin, it will either a hat or a tail. A hat or a tail. All of us will agree that these are the only possibilities. That's what we call outcomes. How about the other? Assume a pair of die is thrown. Let's think of all possible outcomes. You may get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. These are the only possible outcomes for a thrown die. The set of all the possible outcomes is called the sample space. A possible outcomes for uneven is called favorable outcomes. For example, let's uneven E is the set of outcomes which are multiples of 3 in rolling a die. The probability of even E is number of outcomes favorable to the even E per total number of possible outcomes. So, these are the outcomes for a rolling a die. 3, this is what you call sample space. And 3 and 6, this is what you call favorable outcomes of even E, because at even E is a multiple of 3 and 6. So, the probability of E equal to 2 per 6 or 1 per 3, or you can represent the probability in decimal number 0.333 or even in a percentage. So the probability of E equal to 33%. So how about a probability of an event that involves two processes? We need a probability diagram to list all the outcomes. For example, 2 fair 6-sided dice are thrown. 2 fair, so it includes 2 processes. So we need the diagrams. Let's say this is the first die and this is the second die. So 1 and 1, it means we got 1 at the first die and also 1 at the second. 2 and 4, it means we got 2 at the first and 4 at the second. 5 and 3, we got 5 at the first and 3 at the second. Or we can complete all of the table by this table. So there are 36 outcomes exactly for rolling 2 fair 6-sided dice, as you can see here. So find the probability that the sum of 2 numbers shown is 10. So we find the outcomes that if we add all those numbers together equal to 10. If you look very carefully, you'll find that these 3 outcomes is actually the favorable outcomes of this event, because 4 and 6, if we can add this together, we get 10. 5 and 5 also 10, 6 and 4 also 10. So these 3 outcomes is the favorable outcomes. So the probability equal to 3 per 36, the number of favorable outcomes, this one, and all the outcomes, this one. So equal to 1 per 12 if you want to make it simpler. Next, find the probability that at least one die shows a 3. At least one die shows a 3. This and these outcomes. So all these outcomes have at least one 3. But how about these outcomes? There are 2 3s in these outcomes. It's okay. That's fine, because the event is at least one die. 2, it's fine because at least. So the probability is number of favorable outcomes per total outcomes, 11 per 36, because there are 11 outcomes here and 36 outcomes. So 11 per 36. Next example. 2 coins are thrown. Remember, involve 2 coins, it means 2 processes. We need a probability diagram. Find the probability that the identical outcomes. First, we have to make the probability diagram. So let's say this is the outcomes for the first coin, and then this is the outcomes for the second coin. If we join all together, we got 4 outcomes, total outcomes. So they even ask identical outcomes. Identical, it means the same outcomes. So these are the same outcomes. H and H, it means hat and tail and tail. Okay, this is the favorable outcomes. There are 2 favorable outcomes per 4 total outcomes. So 2 per 4 or equal to 1 per 2.